Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today, as promised, I have yet another video on the refreshed 2025 Hyundai Tucson. This time, a side-by-side comparison between the SEL and the SEL Convenience. Now, if you guys are unaware, for 2025, it went through a mid-cycle refresh, did get a few exterior changes, but most of the changes really do occur on the inside, as well as updates across the technology lineup with some of the infotainment, hardware, smart cruise control, etc. systems, depending on which trim level that you do get. Now, if you want to know everything that did change for the 2025 Tucson, I do have a dedicated video here on the channel that I highly encourage you to check out if you want to go a little bit more in depth, trim by trim, and tell you exactly what has changed in terms of the features, options, and packaging. Now, these two trims behind me, I think, are some of the most popular within the Tucson's lineup, the base SEL as well as the SEL Convenience. And for 2025, they did get some changes for both of these two models. Now, like I said, it's general updates, enhancements to the design as well as the technology. But when it comes to that convenience package in particular, you might be wondering or noticing behind me that they really look identical on the outside. And for the most part, they are very, very close, given the convenience package did lose the nicer 19-inch alloy wheels on the outside. Instead, now they do have 18-inch on both of these two vehicles. So as a whole, in this video, I want to run through these two vehicles, take a look on the outside, jump on the inside. Both of them have the same interior color, although the materials will vary between these two. Tell you a little bit more about them, some of the differences that I am noticing while walking around side by side. And then towards the end of this video, I will go ahead and jump in, cover the exact color combination differences and the exact pricing differences versus that of 2024 and between these two 2025 models as seen here. So without further ado, let's not waste time. Take a look at what the differences are between the SEL and the SEL Convenience of the refreshed 2025 Tucson. So the two Tucsons in front of me are both finished in the same creamy white pearl exterior with their respective black interiors. Now, if you guys have seen some of my comparison videos in the past or are familiar with the Tucson's lineup, then you'll know the convenience package was pretty easy to distinguish from that of a base SEL for the 2024 and prior model years. However, for 2025, Hyundai made them much more close in terms of their exterior appearance. So there are a few differences you can spot from the outside and the inside, which I will point out in this video, but from first glance, it is a little bit hard to distinguish the two apart. Now, I'll go ahead and put the window stickers up on the screen very quickly if you want to pause this video, take a look at the exact configurations and pricing, but I will go ahead and cover that in a little bit more detail towards the end of this video. But anyway, starting at the front end of each of these two vehicles, as you can see, they're going to look pretty much identical from the exterior in terms of their LED lighting setup, the grille, bumper, wheel designs, etc. So both these two are going to have the more normal grille accents. They aren't the darkened chrome that you'll find on the limited as well as some of the higher trim levels. It will be full LED lighting for your LED turn signals in the upper housing, the LED running lights, as well as the LED reflector headlights separated in its own housing. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, then you'll know the Tucson went from 10 daytime running lights down to 8, so there's going to be 4 on each side of the grille, which is a little bit of a change from the pre-refresh version. And overall, I think the styling is much more borrowed from that of the Santa Cruz versus that of the kind of older traditional curve styling. Now, obviously, some people will like the new styling, some will not, but overall, I think it looks pretty sharp as it is. Now, you'll find more silver accent here for the upper section of the bumper, as well as that lower kind of faux skid plate diffuser on each of these two vehicles. There are some nice gloss back elements here on the corners of the front lower grille section. And of course, the radar for the smart cruise control system is still located in the same overall spot as the pre-refresh. Now, one item I really do like on Hyundai's new vehicles is the flat stainless steel Hyundai logo. So you can see it is kind of a nice contrast here from the dark metallic gunmetal gray grille here with the bright silver emblem, and then it is going to be the exact same over here on the convenience package. But as a whole, you will get a black Hyundai logo depending on which trim level that you do choose, as I showcased in the limited video that I shot just a couple days ago. Now, continuing down the side of the vehicles, as I mentioned earlier on this video, both vehicles will be riding on the same 18-inch alloy wheel, where if you're familiar with the previous model years, that was definitely not the case. So you're going to have a machined with dark gunmetal gray insert, 235/60 18-inch Kumho Crugin HP 71 all-season tire. So gone is the Michelin all-season that came on the convenience package, at least if you did have an all-wheel drive version of the vehicle. And now both will be using these Kumho all-season tires as standard, with a slightly smaller diameter here on the convenience, but a slightly larger diameter over there on the SEL. Now, some of the differences do start to come into play here when taking a look at the mirror caps as well as the side profiles of the vehicle. So over here on the standard SEL, you have the body color mirror caps. You do not have any silver accent trim on the lower section, but the mirrors are still going to be heated with blind spot detection as standard. Over here on the convenience package, you can see you do get that silver accent trim that wraps into the kind of molding that tops the window frame itself. You also get the LED turn signal integration, and then of course the mirrors are going to be heated with that blind spot detection as I mentioned. Both vehicles will have Hyundai Digital Key 2.0 Premium, which incorporates NFC, Bluetooth Low Energy, as well as ultra wideband technology with slightly revised door handles. As you can see, the little 3 strips there versus the detent that was a little bit farther down. So enhanced technology, iOS as well as Android capable, and are definitely much easier to use on a daily basis, as you don't need to actually touch the door handle with your device. You can simply walk up to the vehicle and it will sense the smartphone or device on your person. Both of them will have the same roof rails up top, so gloss black accent up there for additional capability. I guess it's more of a satin finish. Both vehicles will have that, and as you can see, the base SEL does not have a sunroof, which coming over here to the convenience package, it will have the smaller conventional type of sunroof. So that is one of the easiest ways to distinguish the two vehicles apart, especially in this white exterior side by side on a dealership lot. Now, continuing towards the back of the vehicles, there are some other easy ways to distinguish the two apart, I guess, if you have a keen eye, and that is going to be the LED tail lamps with the LED running lights in the upper housing right here with a slightly darker or tinted design versus the base SEL, which is a little bit lighter and it's incandescent. But farther down on the rear bumper, both are going to have the same darker gray trim that matches the front end of the vehicle. Incandescent turn signals and reverse lights are both located in the exact same spot on the rear corners. And then as part of all Tucsons, or this refresh, is going to be the flat silver stainless steel badging. I think that gives it a much more premium look in my opinion. Of course, you have your backup camera, and then also every Tucson will get this new revised Hyundai logo here in the rear glass of the vehicle. So instead of a separate kind of plastic housing that was here prior, it is now incorporated into the actual glass, and definitely gives it a much more premium look in my opinion. So that is pretty much going to be it in terms of the key differences that you might find between the SEL and the SEL Convenience. So now, starting on the interior of the standard SEL, both of these vehicles will have the black interior, but you can option gray if you would like. I do have a separate dedicated video here on the channel going over the gray as well as the black interior here on the SEL, so make sure you guys check that out. Anyways, taking a look at the door panel, they're going to be very, very similar, if not identical, between these. So you have kind of the hard touch plastic upper with this soft touch insert, kind of faux accent stitching. This is going to be hard textured plastic. This section right here is going to be soft touch for the padded armrests. And of course, you do have power windows, mirrors, and locks, with both front windows being fully automatic up down. Silver accent door handle pull with a good amount of storage down below. Both vehicles are going to have power driver's seat with two-way power lumbar, but the biggest difference is going to be the cloth seating here in the SEL, where the Convenience does add the H-Tex leatherette on the inside, which to me is a very nice premium material. Some of the other differences you'll immediately notice, at least if you have a keen eye, is going to be the digital gauge cluster. While both these vehicles do have the nice new panoramic curved display that is kind of one piece with two displays under it, as well as some of these physical hard touch buttons, the display behind the steering wheel is going to be a little bit nicer and have a fully digital design in the Convenience package, where here with the standard SEL or the SE, you will get the configurable 4.2-inch display in the center with the fixed in place speedometer and tachometer on the left and right respectively. So this is going to be controlled here on the left side of the steering wheel in both vehicles, but I will say if you want a little bit more premium experience, just a little bit larger configurable display, that will be the Convenience package with that, configurable 12.3-inch display. Now, coming back to the steering wheel, another difference is going to be the leather wrap steering wheel in the Convenience versus this SEL. So you have a urethane wrapped in this one. It does have smart cruise control with lane follow assist as standard equipment, but you can see there is no facial recognition or facial attention monitor here on the steering column itself, because this does not have some of the more advanced highway drive assist and smart cruise control 2 technologies. Audio Bluetooth here on the right side. And then I just have that, new 3-spoke design, which Hyundai has been rolling out slowly in their latest generation of vehicles. Automatic headlights with auto high beam assist, regular wiper stalk. To the left of the steering wheel, we have your gauge dimming, power trunk, traction control off. This is all going to be kind of that textured hard touch material with a cloth insert here on the left side of the cluster. Dashboard is pretty, uniform and, same across all trim levels. And then coming over here to the infotainment system, this is going to be the 12.3-inch CCNC Lite with wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. It does not have built-in navigation, but it does have BlueLink Plus, which is free for the lifetime of the first owner. Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth inputs as well. And overall, I do have a dedicated video here on the channel going over this system in a little bit more detail, but this is a huge upgrade in my opinion over Hyundai's previous generation. Not to mention it is a larger screen size as well. Down below, you have your newly physical hard touch buttons and controls for the infotainment system, as well as the climate control. So you have a volume and tune knob, all of your shortcut buttons, as well as this small touchscreen display in the center with the dual zone automatic climate control knobs on the outsides for the temperature. It does have heated front seats, but no ventilation, no heated steering wheel. You have USB-C data and charge ports down below, as well as your digital keypad, as well as your wireless charging pad down there with a little bit of additional storage. And one other item you might notice here in the center console, if you've seen the limited videos or some of the other Hyundai promotions out there, is that this center console layout is very, very similar to that of the 2024 models. And that's because it does not have the shift-by-wire gear selection, which changes the gear selection here on the column because it retains the normal gear selection here in the center console area. So if you're expecting a new console across every Tucson for 2025, that is definitely not the case. Two cup holders are still over here. You do get the new Hyundai digital key fob and all the usual functions on there. Center differential lock, drive mode select, all of this is carryover from the 2024 and previous models. Now, one item you might notice is this blank gloss black piece in front of the center console. This used to house your heated seats as well as the ventilated seat and heated steering wheel. Well, Hyundai has moved those up here into that touchscreen display, so this is no longer utilized, which to me is a little bit unfortunate, and it kind of just sticks out as a sore thumb, if you will, on the interior, given there's no buttons or functions that happen from that area. Inside, you will find a good amount of storage with the rubberized soft touch armrest. Up top, both vehicles will have the lighter gray headliner, so no difference there other than the LED overhead lighting is now standard here in this vehicle, where formerly it was the incandescent design. And you have a manual dimming interior rearview mirror, so no auto dimming, with no sunroof as well. Now here in the back seat, everything is pretty much going to be the same as the front. So the door panels, hard touch plastics for pretty much the entire thing. Seats still do have the recline ability via these levers on the left and right hand side. Same material as the front seats. It is a little bit of a harder, scratchier material, but I think it is slightly changed from 2024. And then in terms of rear seat amenities, we do have AC vents as well as USB-C charge ports down below. One mat pocket on the passenger front seat. Do have a center armrest with two cup holders inside. And like I said, you do get LED overhead lighting, although this light is going to be different than the one you find in the convenience package. Just the lens itself, I assume, is more of a frosted look versus the convenience package has a nice darker tinted, projector look, if you will. So that's just a small difference that I noticed looking around each of them. But other than that, pretty similar here in the back seat with everything that it has to offer. Now, finally, taking a look at the cargo area here in the SEL, I really didn't find a single difference between either of these two. Both of them will have the hands-free power liftgate as standard. You have the levers to fold down the second row seats on the left and right-hand side, and you will get LED illumination here in the cargo area, where that was not the case for 2024 and prior with the 12-volt outlet. So outside of the addition of LED lighting back here, I really don't see any difference between the pre-refresh version and these two trims in specific. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the convenience trim level and see what all of the differences are going to be over here. Now, like I said, this one is the black interior, but you can also get gray if you wish. Taking a look at the door panel, both of these two vehicles really offer the exact same door panels outside of possibly this trim piece being slightly different in design, but it is still going to be a hard touch material. So all of the materials are going to be the same between them. And you have the exact same power window, mirror, and lock setup with the automatic two front windows, and then of course the regular power windows for the back. And then the same amount of door storage with the same 6-speaker regular audio system as well. Coming to the driver's seat, it's going to be the same power driver's seat with two-way power lumbar, but the seats themselves are going to be the H-Tex leatherette on the inside, which to me offer a little bit more comfort as well as give it a more premium design versus that cloth. And then at first glance, the dashboard does appear to be the same, but there are going to be some big differences. So here on the inside of the convenience package, at first glance, it looks very similar to that of every other 2025 Tucson, but some of the technology as well as the features and displays are going to be quite different between them. So in front of the driver, you have the fully digital and configurable gauge cluster that is controlled here on the left side of the steering wheel. Now this is very similar to that of some other recent Hyundai products that we've seen. And overall, it does offer a lot of the same functionality, but the reason I really like this display is some of the colors are much more brighter and richer on the screen. It just looks more aesthetically pleasing as a whole and does offer a little bit of additional functionality versus that of the regular SEL. Now I have it pulled up here on the infotainment system, but the reason I like some of this display is that you can link it to the drive mode. So if you go into sport mode, for example, it will change the overall theme. You can also change between 3 different gauge styles. So that is modern. Then we have classic, which gives you the needles on the backside, and then going back to simple, it overall just gives you a little bit of more customization and user, experience, in my opinion, versus that of that lesser gauge cluster. Now coming back to the steering wheel, you can see it is a nice leather wrap design. Unfortunately, still not heated, but does feel nicer in the hand with the same overall design and layout. Now in front of the cluster there, you can see the forward attention monitor sensor. This is part of the equipment that you get on the convenience package for the Smart Cruise Control 2 as well as Highway Drive Assist 1. So this vehicle does have Smart Cruise Control 2 as well as Highway Drive Assist 1, which supposedly has a emergency pullover functionality if the driver is distracted or drowsy or non-responsive. It will at least attempt to slow the vehicle down and hopefully alert others. And I do have yet to test that function out, but that is something that Hyundai has been promoting. Automatic headlights with auto high beam assist, regular wiper stalk. Buttons to the left of the steering wheel are going to be identical with the gauge dimming, power trunk, as well as traction control off. Same cloth insert on the left side as well. And then coming over here to the infotainment system, although this looks the same, this is going to be the CCNC navigation system, which means it does have built-in navigation, but still does support wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth, and of course that BlueLink Plus functionality. Down below for the climate controls and infotainment buttons, all of these are going to be identical as well between the two vehicles. You have the same Hyundai digital keypad as well as wireless charging down here with your USB-C data and charge ports. Center console is largely the same as well. You do have a leather wrapped shift knob here, where that is kind of the urethane material in the base SEL, as well as the boot itself. But outside of that, pretty much going to be identical between these two vehicles. And like I said, this area is not going to be used in any Tucson that I am currently aware of, with the same amount of storage and the rubberized padded armrest. Up top, like I said, headliners are going to be the same lighter gray with your LED vanity and overhead illumination. You do get the auto dimming interior rearview mirror here with the convenience package, and they do have the same LED overhead lighting with the power sunroof controls for that smaller conventional type of power sunroof. So outside of that, as you can see, changes are fairly minimal, but there are a few things to me that make a fairly big difference. Now take a look at the second row. Materials and everything like that are going to follow through from the front seat. So mostly hard touch door panel here, actually all hard touch, so that is going to be the same between them. Seat materials are going to be the same in the back, obviously, with the same adjustments as the SEL for the recline. And then stepping inside, all the amenities are going to be identical with rear AC vents, rear USB charging, one mat pocket on the passenger front seat, so nothing here on the driver's side. And you still do have the pull-down center armrest with 2 integrated cup holders. And like I mentioned, the design of the overhead LED light is going to be different here with the convenience package. I actually like this one much, much more. It gives it a nice contrast and premium look. But I think the overall output and everything like that is pretty much going to be identical. So overall amenities back here outside of the seating surfaces are going to be identical between the convenience package as well as the SEL. So now finally, before we wrap up this video, I want to go through the color combination differences, if any, between these vehicles and the exact pricing information. So both vehicles are going to be available in the exact same exterior colors, as well as available with black and gray interiors for every exterior color. So the colors available are Serenity White or Creamy White Pearl, Phantom Black, Shimmering Silver, Hampton Gray, Ecotronic Gray, Ultimate Red, Atlantis Blue, as well as Rockwood Green. So those are going to be available for SEL and SEL Convenience. Now finally, when it comes to the pricing information, the SEL all-wheel drive, including destination, will come in at $33,110. And the SEL Convenience is going to come in at $35,560, and this represents a $2,450 price difference for the added features here in the Convenience trim level. So as a whole, I don't think that is a unreasonable amount to charge for the additional enhancements and the features that you're getting here in the convenience package in particular. Now, I do kind of dislike the fact that Hyundai made the 19-inch wheels only available on the limited in specific. I think that was one of the big standout features to me on the convenience package was the nicer 19-inch wheels. So now these two vehicles on the outside do look relatively the same in terms of their appearance, outside of those small differences that you kind of do have to look for to tell the SEL and the SEL Convenience apart. But as a whole, I like some of the features that they add in terms of the content of the H-Text leatherette, the digital display, the smart cruise control too with highway drive assist, the built-in navigation, the auto-dimming interior rearview mirror, etc. The list really goes on. I think for that amount of money and the features that you are gaining, I think it is a pretty reasonable value, and I still maintain that the convenience package is one of the better values within the Tucson lineup, although with pricing increasing from 2024, I think it does get a little bit less, but I still think it is a very solid trim level to look for on dealership lots if you're liking a lot of these amenities, including the H-Tech seats in particular, in addition to the enhanced technology over that of the base SEL. So with all that information in mind, you guys will have to let me know down in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree with my overall assessment? Which one of these two trim levels do you think is the better value or the better buy? And which one would fit your overall lifestyle better? Now, one other item I do want to add in particular is that the SEL Convenience and the XRT trim levels are now the exact same MSRP for 2025, except they do feature differences in equipment as well as styling. So as soon as I get my hands on an XRT and hopefully an SEL Convenience at the exact same time, I will do another quick side-by-side comparison video just so you guys get a better understanding as to what your options are for that exact same amount of money and some of the features that are being gained and or lost on each vehicle respectively, because that was formerly not the case for 2024. The XRT was more expensive and arguably gave you less equipment than that of the convenience package. So anyways, I'm going to quit rambling. If you guys enjoyed this video and or found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button below, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to check out additional 2025 Hyundai Tucson content either coming or already posted here on the channel, as I have a lot of videos already pumping out or in the works for this vehicle. So it is pretty exciting. And overall, I think it's going to remain a very popular vehicle for Hyundai. But anyways, I appreciate continued support here on the channel. Let me know your thoughts below. And as always, hope to see you guys in the next one.